we are told that they are supposed to be our friends. The police, we are told, is your friend. But this grandstanding and posturing, especially when people want to, engage in their democratic rights, tend to, cast a very bad image for the police service. And I want to believe that it also has to do with the attitude or posture of the government. Because really and truly, when you engage the police, they are not that unfriendly and unreasonable. And we all know what the law is when it comes to demonstrations. I mean, yes, the understanding initially was that demonstrators only had to inform the police. You did not really need permission. In fact, that's what the law, as we understand, that's the position of the law. You don't need permission. You are to inform the police. But you see, yes, you are to notify them. But a Supreme Court ruling that had to do with the planned demonstration of Committee for Joint Action back in the day, it's concluded that all demonstrations were potentially violent. And because demonstrations were considered potentially violent, it then sort of strengthened the arm of the police to determine how demonstrations are conducted and where perhaps they are to be conducted. And that, for me, kind of watered down that freedom that people initially thought we had to organize demonstrations after notifying the police. But I'm just saying that sometimes the attitude of the government will make the police behave in this manner. Look, what is with the Jubilee House, around the Jubilee House, that demonstrators have always had to struggle, especially under this regime, to terminate or begin their demonstrations at that place? What is with it? And that is why, Randy, on other matters, I have said that the president and his government seem to be operating with a palace mindset. It's as if they are operating or governing from the palace and not a democratically elected office. Otherwise, you will not have some of these posturing that suggests that no one dares the king. He is almighty and, don't even get close to his seat. In the past, many people have presented petitions at the Jubilee House, or the Flagstaff House, as it was then known, after engaging in demonstrations. In fact, people in this government took part in some of those demonstrations and were part of the petitioners, where they were met at the gates of the Jubilee House, and their petitions were taken. But you can take it from the law students who had hot water sprayed on them, through to Occupy Ghana. What's the name? Not Occupy Ghana. Oliver's Fix Ghana. And what many of them had to go through because they just attempted to march or demonstrate around the Jubilee House. Yet, you have, for want of a better adjective, I'll just mention his name, McMill, have access to the Flagstaff House to even shoot a music video. Yet, those of us who are citizens, who queue and vote for people to occupy that building, when we want to demonstrate and present petitions, we are frustrated. And the occupant of that house, who is supposed to be a legal luminary, who is supposed to be a champion of demonstrations, doesn't seem to see anything wrong with this. Otherwise, he would have spoken by now that he's uncomfortable the way the police are preventing people from approaching, the Jubilee House with their frustrations and their concerns. Indeed, we can even say that he sanctions it because of his secretary's warning to not less an institution than Parliament itself to desist from approaching the place to carry the Jubilee House to carry out its mandate, as the law requires of it to transmit bills passed by Parliament to the House. So it is that palace mentality.
Or
Randy,
the protesters do not intend to go to the Jubilee House.
Yes.
They don't intend to send a petition there.
Yes.
They intend to
use the route.
End their demonstration at the Revolution Square.
Yes.
And this, they say, the proximity to
the Jubilee House. That's what I'm saying.
It's too close. And that they also disagree with the thing ending at midnight.
I mean, what is that? The last demonstration ended in the night. And like I'm saying, the police, when they are minded to, have always been professional in handling these things. Except when you have a situation perhaps where, even though it is not that obvious, but there are some, underhand dealings or some unseen hands behind the scenes, trying to direct the process. Because I don't see how harmful this demonstration is, whether it ends at midnight or whether they even decide to terminate at the gate of the Jubilee House.
Is a country that says that is ready for terrorism.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
Is that country's police saying that it is incapable of ensuring that a demonstration which will end at the Revolutionary Square and end at midnight will not degenerate?
Randy, that's why I'm saying that. I mean, all of these excuses are just flimsy and they make the police look bad. And the men and women in the police service, who I believe are professionals, must reflect on some of these decisions that tend to tarnish the image of the police institution. Like I've said, they have always acted professionally when they are minded to in managing even worse situations than demonstrations.
It's been cited in the middle of a residential area.
Yes.
A residential and commercial area.
And so that is why I'm becoming increasingly uncomfortable that the Jubilee House is used as excuse every time to frustrate people who want to exercise their democratic right of engaging in a demonstration or
what's the distance between Jubilee House
a match
or protest and Afrikiko? What's the distance? Jubilee House and Afrikiko.
I don't think it's up to 200 meters.
You know the place?
Afrikiko. You don't know Afrikiko. You don't know Afrikiko.
I'm not too sure.
Ministers don't roam around that area.
No, for the purpose of this discussion, it doesn't.
I don't think it's 200 meters. So
not 50 from the wall.
Yes, from the wall. Anyway,
it's only a street.
I was looking at it from the entrance.
It's only a street.
Yes, it's only a street. And yet, look at the activities and massing up of people that happen at Afrikiko, and it's not a security threat. In fact, people that you don't even know, because in the night, the kind of people who come there, you don't know them. They all come to party and all that. It's not a security threat to the Jubilee House, but people that you can identify, who have come to you to inform you of their intention to demonstrate.
You their routes.
And they have given you their routes.
And you have a responsibility
to even match with them. And yet you think that it's... So I'm saying that from the students who demonstrated because of their issues with the law school, who had to be sprayed with hot water, to the Fix Ghana demonstrators, and the frustrations that all these people have been taken through every time they have attempted to demonstrate, the frustrations they have been taken through by the police, it does not help the image of the police. And the police must begin to reflect on some of these things and not to allow, the palace mindset that we have at the Jubilee House, derail them from their professional conduct. I think it is a shame that anybody will seek to frustrate this demonstration organized by Yvonne Nelson, especially when I believe those who are behind this frustration were one time, promoters of head demonstration. It is a big shame, and people must bow their heads in shame.
Yeah. The sentence says, I have opposed these applications for injunction to demonstrate, and in all of the affidavit in support, the police cites terrorism just to play on the emotional keyboards of judges. Judges are human beings and definitely will be scared of same. They don't bring security assessment reports for judges to evaluate. It's pathetic.
It's just unacceptable. I mean, you cannot be using fear, to deny people their rights enshrined in the Constitution and also supported by other enactments. I think we live in a democracy and not a kingdom.
In the past and were criticized and said all manner of things. I mean, it's even some of these things that led to
even the passage of this. The what do you call it?
The Public Order Act and all those things, and then we still.
That's why I'm saying that it is a shame that the occupant of that Jubilee House, who is a champion of demonstrations himself, at least so he claims, and a human rights activist, at least so he claims, and a legal luminary, doesn't see anything wrong with this because he has never, said anything. And we know that he has been very vociferous in the past in condemning some of these actions and attempts to frustrate people from demonstrating. So today, if he is the occupant of that place and that place is used as reason to frustrate people when they attempt to demonstrate, you will expect that he will at least show the way and give a direction as to why that should not be used to frustrate people from engaging in their civic duties as protected and enshrined in the Constitution. But unfortunately, it's a shame that he sits unconcerned, and I believe because of what even the Secretary wrote to Parliament, that he actually sanctions such behavior, because the mentality in the Jubilee House is that of a palace mindset and not guided by Constitution and the tenets of democracy, unfortunately.